witnessing an oligarchy in America. When those with the most economic, political, and technological power destroy the public good in order to enrich themselves at the price of millions of Americans.
I don't really actually even know what our platform is or who's running it. I get some text messages, but that's about it.
What do y'all think the platform is? They have no platform. I want to talk about these mindless new faces of the Democrat Party. AOC and that old dude, Mr. Millionaires and Billionaires. These people are so stupid. Bernie Sanders wrote a book. I think he made like $1 million on the book. And the book was very expensive. But they're the first ones to talk about that the rich need to pay their fair share and the rich need to do all this stuff for the poor. Why don't you give your book away for free? Why couldn't, if a person's income level is X, they get your book for free? But no, the very people who hate capitalism live and flourish and thrive in capitalism. Roll the clip.
And NBC News is now reporting several House Democrats, they are urging AOC to primary Schumer in 2028. Starting today, the Congresswoman is joining Bernie Sanders at a series of rallies in Arizona, Nevada, Colorado. And that's further sparking questions about her considering a run for higher office, which, by the way, it may surprise you, I am highly supportive of. After all, she is the true leader of the radical Democratic Party. Let her hold her rightful position. And according to a new CNN poll, voters believe AOC embodies the party's core values more so than both Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom. Here with reaction, former Trump White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, along with the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Jim Jordan. Look at this, the dynamic duo. I have no idea who to go to first. I really don't. I have no idea.
You go to Jim. Go to Jim.
Mark's older.
Go to the chairman.
Mark's older. Go to him.
Mark's older. Oh, wow. That's cold. All right, Mark, we'll start with you. AOC is the leader of the party. Jasmine Crockett's the leader of the party. Chuck, has to now grovel to stay in power. Whether or not he's successful or not, time will tell. I'm okay with AOC leading the party.
Well, obviously, she represents the vast majority of that extreme left wing of the party. But the poll that you were talking about, Sean, the interesting thing is, had Kamala Harris and Bernie Sanders not been in that poll, it would have been 1 in 4 actually believes that she should lead the party. So is that making Chuck Schumer sweat? Yes, you can't imagine, like a hot day in South Carolina, he's sweating. But the real problem is this is not about personalities, Sean. It's about policy. And the fact is their policies don't work. 77 million people let their voice be heard on that particular subject back in November.
Jim Jordan, I'm getting very nervous now about the actions of the Democratic Party. If they want to hold bingo cards, fine. Let
me interject before Jim Jordan starts. It's very clear to me that if AOC is the party of 20-year-olds in college with no responsibilities that have been brainwashed with DEI and all the foolery on many college campuses, then yes, she would be the leader of that party. There's still a bunch of rational people still alive that claim to be Democrats. They were alive when Democrats used to not be so radical. I don't think that AOC has a single chance in, to have a position as a leader in the party. She's too radical and emotional. She's all flash and no substance. And I'll add this to it. The only reason AOC is as popular as she is because she look good. Only because she kind of good looking. I ain't gonna lie.
What?
Yeah.
Man, hell no.
Them little teeth kind of weird, but she kind of good looking. And that's the only reason why anybody would take her serious whatsoever. I'm telling you, if she looked like Maxine Waters, nobody would be listening to her. I can almost put my whole career on it. These Monster Chips so good, make you want to slap your mama. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, Monster Chips is an incredible chip company. You got to try them. They taste really, really good, and they're only made with 3 ingredients: organic, nixtamalized corn, you got grass-fed beef tallow, and also Redmond sea salt. No seed oil, no additives, none of that fake stuff that they put in these chips to gas you up and don't give you anything substantive when they give you a chip. Also, just so you guys know, because a lot of people may not know what nixtamalization is, and it's an ancient Aztec process that make corn more nutritious and easier to digest by increasing the mineral content, okay? And also, I think people need to understand why it's important that you have your chips made with beef tallow instead of all those cheap seed oils. Products that are cooked the right way in beef tallow is packed with vitamin A, D, K, and E, plus healthy fatty acids that support skin, brain, and also overall health. So if you want a good chip and you don't have to feel guilty about binging them, you need to get Masa Chips today. So all you gotta do is click on the link in the description section or go to masachips.com/Tatum. Make sure you put discount code Tatum in to get 20% off. Now, unless you want to pay full price, go ahead and do it. But I got you for 20% off. Get these chips, and once you go Masa, you ain't going back. Roll it.
Stand for mothers that lost their children. Okay, that's on them. They don't have a soul, in my view, but that's fine. But now that they're going into Republican districts with their talking points, trying to create a hostile atmosphere, now we're talking about danger. Now that you have groups and even congresswomen that are supporting going after Elon Musk the way they are, like Jasmine Crockett did that we showed earlier, that is a frightening scenario.
No, it's scary, and it's not going to help them politically. I mean, when you embrace crazy, you're going to be at a 27% approval rating. I don't care who leads their party. As long as they're embracing these crazy policies, it's going to be a win for us. And I think President Trump probably said it best. It's common sense versus crazy. So go down the list. It is crazy to defund the police. It is crazy not to have a border. It is crazy to have men compete against women in sports. It's crazy to attack Teslas and burn them up, go after dealerships. And maybe the one that is front and center on Americans' minds is what this judge did this past week. It is crazy for an unelected federal district judge to say, turn the plane around, bring back hardened gang member criminals who are here illegally, turn them around, bring those bad guys back to America. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But that is now their party. And if they want to continue to embrace the craziness, we'll keep doing the common sense things that President Trump talks about and is getting done for the American people.
Love it. All right, let's go to the clip of AOC and them at the rally so you can kind of see what they're doing. And then we're going to break down what their objectives are and why I adamantly oppose to their objectives. And I think it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. They're going to have momentum. There's a bunch of people still drinking soy and believing that the earth is going to crash and burn in 2 years from now. So you're going to have those radical idiotic individuals going to these things, but that does not mean that their overarching perspective is palatable for most American people. Roll the clip.
The theme of the rally with Senator Bernie Sanders and Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was to push back on President Donald Trump's policies, calling for universal health care and to bridge the wage gap between the poor and the wealthy. But they're also calling to rally their base.
If we stand together, we can not only defeat Trumpism, but we can create the kind of great nation we know that we can become. Thank you all very much.
A packed house at Mullet Arena listened as Sanders and AOC underscored the need to come together and be united to fight against a Republican-controlled Congress and president.
We are witnessing an oligarchy in America, when those with the most economic, political, and technological power destroy the public good in order to enrich themselves at the price of millions of Americans.
People we spoke to at the rally said they are not happy with the current state of the Democratic Party and want their elected officials to do more.
I don't really actually even know what our platform is or who's running it. I get some text messages, but that's about it.
I wish there were more people like these two. It could make such a difference. I mean, people standing up and going to see people, talking to them, listening to them, instead of sitting in Washington, makes a tremendous difference.
According to the New York Times, one reason Sanders is holding this tour across multiple states is to encourage people to get involved in the political process and for people to run as independents. Several times throughout the rally, AOC called out her fellow Democrats, saying the party needs to fight harder, and told the crowd to vote for Democrats like Senator Mark Kelly and Senator Ruben Gallego.
I want you to look at every level of office around and support Democrats who fight, because those are the ones who can actually win against Republicans.
AOC and Sanders will be back in Arizona on Saturday for a rally in Tucson. Ben Brown, ABC 15, Arizona.
They can win against Republicans. Who's teaching her how to speak? So let's go through their talking points, right? Fight the oligarchy. Let's put that in perspective. These people are now upset because Elon Musk, being a billionaire, is now associated with the Republican Party. They said nothing when Zuckerberg gave over $400 million to the Democrat Party. They said nothing when Jeff Bezos and all of these people supported their party. They said nothing when the biggest pop star celebrities were endorsing them, doing concerts, all on the behalf of the Democrat Party. The Republicans had no significant name recognition last election, no significant donor power last election. Even Zuckerberg donated $400 million, which was way more than Tesla donated, or not Tesla, actually SpaceX, and Elon donated to Donald Trump this year. So you tell me who was a part of the oligarchical class, if that's a word. The Democrat Party has literally rolled out the red carpet for celebrities all of this time. They did it this year. Obama comes out. They get Beyonce to come do a little speech, paid her money. Oprah paid her money. Megan Thee Stallion paid her money. They go down the list. Call Her Daddy podcast, trashiest podcast on the internet. That girl must have paid for all of her followers, because I saw on Instagram the other day interviewing somebody about something completely stupid, and she had like 200 likes on there. Worst podcast in America. All of these people were on y'all side and y'all didn't say nothing. What's the next point? They don't even know what their platform is. That lady said, I don't know what the Democrat platform is. What do y'all think the platform is? They have no platform. Is their platform to become Republicans? Because they can't go nowhere from how far left they've gone. Anywhere farther left, they're going to go off a cliff. If they go anywhere to the right, they're a Republican. Because women, trans in sports. Are y'all going to really make an argument against Republicans on that point? Do you really think you have a talking chance to influence the American people to believe that makes sense for a man to just bludgeon women in sports? Where else do you guys go? You want an open border? You want us to not enforce border policy? You want ICE to not do their job? You want criminals who are going and hurting people and stealing the American taxpayer dollar, siphoning our system? You want them to just have the freedom to do all that stuff? Do you want the government to be blowing our money on stupid projects that have nothing to do with the American people? You want a government that is spending money and have accounts payable with no notes to it? We don't know where that money is gone. They don't know where the money is gone. The Pentagon can't pass an audit. Is that what they're going to argue against? That we want more of that and less of what the Republicans are doing? What else they going to do? We want no tariffs. We don't want no strength across the world with a leader that's going to stand up for the American people and fight for us. We want none of that. Like, what platform can they actually use without being full-blown radical? And they tried it and they lost this election, and they really have nowhere to go from here. Universal health care, which amounts to more government control. The people are trying to get away from the government. The government is not effective and efficient. They've already did a Ponzi scheme with our healthcare system and our Medicare, Medicaid, and retirement. They already done a Ponzi scheme. To be honest, we don't have enough money to pay the people that's going to retire in the next 20, 30 years. So what are they going to do about that? But they want more government, more control over you. Universal health care, it sounds nice, but it leads to higher taxes, longer wait times, and more government control over personal health decisions, just like Canada and the UK do already. And let's just give you a statistical analysis on this. In Canada, the average wait time for specialists or specialized treatment is 27 weeks. Look at the DMV. Look at anything the government runs. They don't do anything right. Even the Postal Service sucks. But you want more of that? Okay. Medicare for All will cost $32 trillion over the next 10 years, doubling the federal income tax. And this is what sources say. From George Mason University, it is impossible to stop or tighten the wage gap if you are imposing taxes on the wealthy. Because if you make me pay more taxes, I don't have any obligation to pay people anything but minimum wage. If you make me pay more taxes, maybe, just maybe, I'd say, you know what, I'm gonna stop giving 100% benefits for all my people to recoup some of that money y'all gonna be siphoning from me in taxes. How about I pay them less money? How about I give people minimum wage when they come entry level in my company? How about I start doing stuff like, how about I just lay people off and use AI to take over positions that I don't need, that I'm paying a full salary and benefits for, and that AI can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, don't have to take holidays off. How about we start doing that? Oh, you want to impose taxes on the wealthy? They're just going to start replacing people because people can be replaceable when you're that rich, when you have such a $1 trillion company. They're now, and I think it's a good innovation, but I hope it's not going to put people out of work. They're 3D printing houses now. Y'all see that? They're 3D printing houses. They make an entire city 3D printed. Yeah, that machine don't have to take a water break. That machine can 3D print on Mars. If they can get the technology there, they don't need people to do nothing. They build a cylinder. You can customize it right online. I saw a little article they did. You can customize it right online. You can go in there and say, I want 3 bedrooms, but I want my bedroom to be elevated at this level, and I want this to be down here, and I want the walls to look like this. That thing will 3D print a whole house. That thing go all night, all day, and not paying for it, not one person. They said an average house would cost $99,000, which is insane. Y'all want to keep playing. The wage gap is a myth. AOC pushes the bridge of wage gap to bridge the wage gap, ignoring basic economy. A government interference in wage leads to job loss, higher costs, and inflation. We know that when they impose more taxes, we get less money into the treasury. And this is something that I'm trying to think of his name. Thomas Sowell have made mention, one of the greatest economists to ever live. It is a proven fact when they raise taxes, we get less money in the treasury. Why? Because when people feel that taxes are more reasonable and attainable and fair, they're more likely to pay it. When they feel like it's unfair, they find ways to divert from it. Ask any economist, they'll tell you that I'm telling the truth. And I'll tell you this, rich people don't pay taxes anyway, just so y'all know. They're not gonna pay that much taxes. Their companies probably pay taxes, but Tesla buys a private jet for $20 million. That's a tax write-off. That is literally a business expense. That's non-taxable income. I mean, you can go down a list. You got so many things you can do in your business to divert taxes or pay a minimum amount of taxes as possible. Defeating Trumpism is one thing that they mentioned, which is absolutely asinine. Democrats know that they're struggling. That's why they're coming here. They know that people are over them. They know that people are becoming over them in Tucson and in Phoenix, and all these politicians are going to lose their hat when it comes to the midterms. That's why they're coming here, okay? Over 7.2 million illegal border crossings in the United States was an all-time high. Arizona crime has surged 20% since 2020. That's why they're here, due to soft on crime policies and the hatred towards police. And I know a lot of cops that don't even want to do the job no more. Hispanic voters in Arizona are shifting to the right. Trump saw a 10% increase in Latino support from 2016 to 2020, and that's what Pew Research has shown. And it's even greater in this new run. So we shall see what happens.